Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Always a pleasure to sit down and talk with, fresh off the plane back from his trip to China, the mayor of Boston, Marty Walsh. Mayor, welcome.
Thanks, John. Thanks for having me this morning.
Good to have you here. Welcome home. Unfortunately, you were greeted by the scene of that horrific shooting next door to the Jeremiah Burke High School last week. And in the wake of that murder, essentially what it was, Police Commissioner Evans said, "We know there are students who know exactly what happened. Unfortunately, they're not coming forward. Everyone should be outraged by what happened, and shame on everybody if the parents and kids don't step up here," end quote. Well, after that, City Councilor Tito Jackson said Evans's comments, quote, re-victimize students. And he added, "I'm very disappointed that we'd have our commissioner pointing fingers." Who's right?
Billy Evans has a 17-year-old son that he talked about that day that can't imagine as a father, as a parent, having to notify a mother and a father that their kid has been shot coming out of school. He took that very personal. He took that homicide very personal. We met with the family the next day, and Billy talked about his son. He is the police commissioner of Boston, but he's also upset. He views his job as a very personal job, and when he sees a 17-year-old kid getting shot on the side of a road coming out of a school, he takes it personal. You know, he is emotion, and you want to see that in a police commissioner. You want to see in somebody who's not desensitized to the violence in the street. You want to see somebody who cares about the violence in the street, and he has a right to ask people if they see something in the community to let us know and let the police know. When we met with the parents, they want justice. They want this person. This young man's father called for justice the other night at a vigil and said that we wanted to know who killed our son and we want him brought to justice. So I think that, you know, I'm not going to play politics here and go for headlines in the newspaper. What I am going to say is that we have a police commissioner that cares deeply about every single person in the city of Boston, and when he's asking help from the community, he's asking help from the community. He also understands that the community is going through a lot of trauma as well. We work every single day to bring the violence down in the streets, and he knows the community is going through pain as well.
Well, if it's this case or any other, how big a problem is the so-called code of silence, the non-snitching code?
I don't even want to give it justification for code of silence. I want to give it more justification of people being afraid to speak up because of retribution. And I think that's something that we worked on. That's something that the district attorney worked on this year in this year's budget. We got more money to be able to help people, witnesses come forward and give them protection because I think people are afraid of that. People are afraid of, they're not sure exactly what was behind this shooting. We're not exactly sure if this was gang related, gang involved, or what the issue was as far as the shooter. The young man that was coming out of school, we visited the school the next day, and teachers were devastated. Students were devastated. People were upset. This young man always had a smile on his face. He was a good student in school. He was a hard-working kid. I mean, it's a sad situation.
Well, the very same day, you appeared at a press conference with the U.S. Attorney's Office to announce a big gang bust in the greater Boston area, not Boston specifically, but without more cooperation and more of a feeling of security within the community to come forward, how are you ever going to snuff out this problem?
Yeah, and we need help. I mean, I think there's a couple things that we have to do. I mean, the U.S. Attorney's Office, along with the Boston Police Department, State Police, ATF, FBI, Homeland Security, they did an incredible job of getting guns off the street, and that arrest was a great arrest to bring violence down in our city, in this region. But we need cooperation from people in the community. People need to help us with understanding to get to the root of the violence. But we also need help in the community, and I've asked this community-wide for people to talk to young people, express to them the importance of life, particularly our older citizens. They've been there, they've done that. There's an opportunity for us to be able to go out and send positive messages.
All right, we'll take a short break. When we come back, more with the mayor of Boston, Marty Walsh, here on WBZ. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're talking with Boston Mayor Marty Walsh. And Mayor, there's a couple other topics I want to get to here, but I do have to ask you, you were there at that press conference with U.S. Attorney Carmen Ortiz, and she recently indicted one of your top aides on a charge of illegally denying city permits in part of an alleged quid pro quo for hiring union workers. First of all, any further communication from the U.S. Attorney, and what, if anything, have you said to city employees in the wake of this about what you expect and what you want to see happening?
Well, we're working with the U.S. Attorney's Office, and we want to get to the bottom of this. Obviously, it's something that we don't want to have linger on here in City Hall, and we're going to work with them and cooperate any way we can. Another issue with what we've done is we've taken an opportunity here to reach out to the Ethics Commission at the state, and they're working with my corporation counsel to come up with a training for all cabinet level and also department heads. And because we do have to file ethics disclosures as a city employees every year, we have to file that, but we're looking to do a little more intensive training with our folks just to be able to have a conversation about what's proper, what's inappropriate, so people understand so they don't get themselves in a situation where it won't be a good situation.
All right. Speaking of ethics, there's this mess now with the IndyCar race that was supposed to happen here over Labor Day weekend. It got canceled. A lot of people ponied up a lot of money in advance. Now a lot of them are having trouble getting their money back. I realize that that's not directly your responsibility, but the city championed this. There was a lot of blowback against critics of it, that Boston's becoming the city of no. Turned out maybe no was the right response to these people.
Well, I'll tell you, when the IndyCar race kind of went away a few weeks ago on a Friday, it was unfortunate that we weren't able to get to an agreement. Now we're starting to see the people who bought tickets not getting reimbursed, so we're starting to see a little more clearer that I don't know if we ever could have actually, if we don't have a willing partner on the other side, pull something like this off. And it's my understanding that when the tickets were bought by the customers, the money was supposed to be put into an escrow account and not spent until the race actually started. So the money should be there, and I think that, the folks that bought tickets should be upset if they're not being reimbursed. And I think that at some point we're going to have conversations with maybe the Attorney General of the Commonwealth to work on this, to really look at doing investigation. This is an unfortunate situation, and I've had conversation with Indy National, which is the parent organization, and from reading in the paper as well, they're suing this franchisee as well. So this franchisee seems to have a lot of legal problems coming down the road.
Wow. Should more due diligence have been done earlier on with this?
Well, I think what happened was, as I said earlier, we had a different franchisee in the very beginning. We ended up with a different person later on. There was situations, and certainly in my conversation with Indy National, which is very interested in having a race at some point in Boston, we will certainly look at this a lot different. It's the structure, I think, of Indy. I'm not blaming them, but the way Indy's structured seems like they have some work to do.
Okay, Mayor. Great to see you.
Sean.
Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Let's talk again soon.
Absolutely.
Mayor Marty Walsh of Boston. That's it for me. Now it's back to my colleagues for more WBZ News.